Okay everyone, welcome to this video. I am going to talk to you about using Sika Fast Flex to grout your patio. This stuff is very good as long as you use it correctly, and I'm going to go through a few quick tips before I go into a bit of a demo about what you should do to make sure this is going to work for you and your situation. So first things first, this is £30 a tub, so it's a lot more expensive than using sand and cement. It says it covers up to 20 square metres on a tub. That is probably if the joint is 5mm by 20mm deep, which it says in the instructions. Most people on stone patios do not have a 5mm gap, they're going to have a 15 to 20mm gap, which basically means you're going to need twice as much of this than you think you're going to need. My patio is 15 square metres. I've used this full 14k tub and I'm going to need at least another one. So double the amount I think I'm going to need, because my grouting area is probably 20 by 20, not 20 by 5. So it's something to bear in mind when you think of the cost of your grouting. Number two is watering your slabs before you put the grouting compound in. Two reasons. One, it protects the top of your slab from getting stained from the stain in the actual compound. And two, it helps with the setting process and gives you a little bit of extra working time. But in the grouting joint, you don't want it to be a puddle. So if you've got some cement in there from when you've put your pavers down, it's making it puddle, you need to make sure it's not puddling. So you need the top of your slab to be very wet, but you need the actual in the grouting hole to just be damp. You do not want it to be soaking wet, even though this stuff says it can be applied in the rain. So I don't know why that is, but you're better off not having your joints saturated but still wet when you're putting it in. And three, and the most important thing about using this, and why most people's patios fail or complain or they say that these resin type products are rubbish, is because they don't compact the product when they put it in the grout. You'll get a lot of builders or contractors come in, probably lay a patio, and they'll brush this stuff into the grout line, and within a few months, a year or so, your grouting has come out and you're ringing back to complain. Is because they don't want to spend the extra hour, 2 hours, 3 hours at the end of the day going round on their hands and knees compacting grout. And that is what it is. It will last a long time if you put it in properly. The problem is it's a bit of graft on your knees to get it in properly. But compaction is the biggest and most key thing to this working long term. So it's a step you cannot miss. Setting time, it says on the back here, which I don't quite get why it says when you open the bag you've got an hour to use it. It comes in 2 7-kilogram bags, so you don't have to use the entire 14 kilograms in one go. You get 2 shots at it. You can put it in a bucket of water for up to a month for it to last and be reused, but it says when you've got the bag open, and if you're not going to store it in water, it needs to be down and in the grout holes within an hour, which is not a particularly difficult thing to do. If you've got 20mm grout holes, this stuff gets used up pretty quickly. You can easily use a bag in an hour. But it does make me think why it says it'll start to go off in 6 to 12 hours in 15 degrees plus, and it'll take longer if it's between 4 and 15 degrees. Well, if you need to use it within an hour of opening the bag and it's saying it doesn't start to go off for 6 hours, what's the rush? But you're better off sticking to the instructions. And like I said, if you don't use the whole bag, you can put it in a bucket of water and keep it up to a month and come back to it. And next thing, you're just going to need some tools for obviously the compaction. I've got a small piece of wood there that'll fit between my grout lines. I've got a chisel here instead of a grouting tool, and I've got a God, I can't remember what you call it now, but I'm going to call it a spatula, but I know it's not, to get in the lines and press it in to the grouted areas. And as long as you do that, stick to the rules, wet it down, compact it, and leave it for its full set time. You will have no problems using this stuff. So let's jump over to the patio and give you a quick demo of me using it, and then we'll give you a final picture of the patio once it's all grouted. So let's see you over there now. So now we'll get to the demo. We'll just do this small section here. Firstly, we'll crack open the bag. I'll show you what it looks like. So just like a resin, little resin balls it looks like. It smells like biscuits. It's a weird smell. But we need to obviously wet down the tiles like I said first. So I'm just going to put it on a real slow, gentle, mainly to get the top of the tile, not too much in the joint, but you do want the joint wet. But you don't want it puddled in the joint. So that should be plenty. And then obviously with my little wooden compression tool and my trowel, we'll get it on there. What you want to do is lay quite a lot out and then spread it into thick, and I'll try and do it without getting in the way of the camera too much. Some knee pads is a good idea and all, because your knees will get destroyed doing this job. Just get it on, whack it in thick, because you obviously want to be compressing it in. You scrape it into the joint. I like to use the edge of the trowel. And you can use your stick. Obviously it probably would be easier if you had a proper compaction, a proper grouting tool, but I haven't got them. Just keep putting it on, keep compressing it in. Like I said in the intro, the more you compress it, the better lasting joint you'll get. It's really the key for this stuff. So really, really compress it in. That's why I like using one of these trowels, because like the joint is now in. Just clean up the edges, push it into the next joint, and then you can go down once with the cornery edge of the trowel and just do a finishing pass like that, and you just keep working your way down. And I'll leave you on time lapse for a bit longer, and I'll come back to you when the patio is fully done. one, the patio is now all done. All the grouting is in and complete. You can see where it's still got some damp marks around the edge of the grouting where it's been washed off. But it is all in there. And you can see that it's all set rock solid. After a couple of days, this grout, if it's cooler weather, it can take a day or two to really go hard. But it is all in there. Obviously the patio now needs a good pressure wash to finish it all off, but it is looking much better than it did prior, and you can tell me what you think. My DIY pergola there, if you want to go watch that video you can on the channel, but that is how to use the Sika Fix grout, and that is the finalised patio project, and we'll move on to the next one in the next video, which will be to fill this cavity in here with slate and use some of that exterior polymer glue to glue the slates into place all the way along the edge, and we'll see how good that works and if it's worth the hassle and how well it holds the stones in place in the next video. If you've liked this project, if you like the patio, if you're thinking of doing one yourself, please like, favourite and subscribe, and go watch a few of my other videos. And that is all, and that's bye from Toast the puppy as well. See you later.